What was the number one thing you were asked about in an interview outside of your work experience or education?
They wanted to know a lot about the personal things that I did in my life so that they could paint a picture of who I was in the interview outside of what I would be at work. And I didn't expect that question when I first heard it. I was kind of like, what do you care? And they said, well, the reason we care is because we want to know that you're doing stuff to keep yourself positive, to keep yourself fresh and learning.
What approaches should students use to find a job or to start their own business?
I think, especially concerning my industry, it's about the hustle that you have. It's about, going on Facebook, going on Twitter, going on LinkedIn, meeting people, talking to people.
How much research did you put into the company that you work for now before you accepted the position?
I actually did research for a good 2 days. Not just, I'm going to go on their website and they're going to have all this information about the company on the website. Yeah, but that's the company trying to sell themselves. That's not going to tell you the truth about that company. Figure out what is it the competitors doing that they're not and look for opportunities. If you can figure out things that the company can improve on and the company can do, it shows that you're willing to take initiative. It shows that you understand the industry. It shows that you're a little bit of an overachiever, but if you're an overachiever, that means you're willing to get things done.
What would you ask an interviewer?
Ask your interviewer how they got to where they are, because if you don't get the job, you've gotten more advice out of that.
How do you prepare for an interview, and what's your biggest tip?
Don't over-prepare, right? Don't be afraid of stumbling or afraid of your answers or afraid of, if you dwell on the one question or the one thing that you're going to be asked in this interview, the second they ask you, you're going to turn into a mess. You don't want to be anybody but yourself.
Can you give an example of one of the best first impressions that you've ever had?
The first production company that I worked for, I know that they were hiring me for a very specific role, and I knew I was going to be shooting the groom getting ready. So I got my sister, and I sat her down in a room, and I made her kind of go through some of the same stuff that they would make a groom do. And I put together a highlight video that I was able to actually show them, and that really resonated well with them, and then they were very impressed at the fact that I actually went to that extent because I've never gotten that before.
Some great first impressions that I've had and some bad ones are when people don't know their elevator speech. If you had 30 seconds in an elevator with the CEO of your dream company and it was just you and him in the elevator, what would you say? How would you sell yourself in that 30 seconds that you have and have that prepared so that when you go to networking events or when you go to interviews, you want everyone to remember that 30-second snapshot of you? What are some of the qualities that you value most in a colleague or a peer in the workplace?
Appreciation for your coworkers is something that I look for, and just mutual respect amongst, I respect you for what you know and I appreciate you for what you've done.
I think it's really important that you realize you've got your own path, and your own path is really different than everyone else's path. Follow your path, follow your journey, and don't be afraid, because you can see here, everyone's got a different path, and everyone has enjoyed it, everyone has a passion, and everyone is making their way. And that's what we at Humber would like you to do when you graduate from here.